In 2020, I ran 2,184.6 miles. For reference, here's 2,184.6 peanuts. 1 peanut for every mile I ran last year. It's literally the same as the number of people living in French Lick, Indiana. So I ran almost 2,200 miles over the 365 days in 2020. This equates to almost 6 miles a day. Whoops, forgot it was a leap year. I ran in 13 different states in 5 different countries. And to put it all into perspective, I ran from Atlanta, Georgia to Los Angeles, California in 2020. So in this video, I want to tell you guys how I ran this many miles, as well as tell you how I felt when I was running my heaviest mileage. And then finally, at the end, I want to tell you guys how many miles I want to run in 2021. Oh, and let me know how many miles you ran in 2020 in the comments below. So my 2020 was actually pretty inconsistent. In January, I started off pretty well. I was training for a half marathon, hitting heavy mileage, hitting some of the best workouts of my life. But then in February, I was sick for like the longest time. And in March, I was like injured kind of, and I just like didn't run a lot. But then I came back home, and in April, I was on the up and up. I was increasing mileage. Same with May, same with June, same with July. And I was feeling fit. I was getting back into shape. Then I took August pretty much off, running 25-mile weeks the whole of August, trying to take like an easy down month before I went out to Los Angeles to train heavy. And then September, one of my best months of training in my life, followed up by October, which I was hitting heavy mileage in Park City. And then November, where I was kind of tapering off, ending my fall training block, which leads us to December, which I'm building back up now for track. And that's basically how I got to 2,184.6 miles. And guys, I posted this all on the channel, so make sure to subscribe. It's free, so why not? Okay, so next up, I want to talk about what kind of shape I was in at the beginning of 2020 versus the end of 2020 after the 2,200 miles. So back in January, I was actually in amazing shape. I was hitting literally the best workouts of my life, as I said before. But I feel like a lot of that was holdover from cross country in the fall. And then after I took off February and March pretty much, I was so out of shape. I mean, you guys saw my mile back in May. It was horrible. As I went on through the year in the summer, I was slowly getting back into shape. And then in September, it showed. I was having some amazing workouts, which brings me to now. Right now, I feel like I'm basically in the same shape as I was back in January, which is crazy because I put in 2,184.6 miles. How could I possibly be in the same shape? Well, it's because I didn't stay consistent, especially at the beginning of the year. If I had stayed consistent through February and through March and into April and to keep going and keep building, I would be in amazing shape right now. But because those 2 months basically destroyed all the work I put in the fall and in January, I was working to build back up to that level the entire year. And in September, probably I got back to that shape, and now I'm continuing to build and seeing what shape I'll be in the spring. But overall, I actually am in pretty similar shape as I was at the beginning of 2020. Next up, I want to discuss how I was able to run almost 6 miles a day every single day throughout the year. Besides that one slight injury I had in March, I literally haven't been injured in like 5 years. And this is really due to 2 different things that I've learned that allow you to keep high mileage without getting hurt. Number 1, you need to be stretching often. If you're not stretching after every single run, it literally multiplies by like tenfold the chances that you are gonna get injured. So make sure you're stretching, make sure you're rolling after every run. You can do it a little bit before. I usually don't like to stretch before and just let my legs warm up throughout the run, but definitely stretch and roll after. Second, I know this has become a huge talking point in running, but take your easy days easy and your workout days hard. If you take your workout days hard and then take your next day medium, you're gonna feel the strain on your legs. Those easy runs are just for mileage. There's no real reason that you need the easy runs to be fast. Keep it comfortable, keep it controlled, and you'll feel healthy throughout the entire year. But guys, even though I did all of that stuff, I took it easy, I still had negatives throughout the year. The heaviest negative was that February-March time span where I literally like wasn't running. It was so discouraging and I just like couldn't run because of little things every single week. But also back in October, I had hit like 4 70-mile weeks in a row in Park City at elevation. And this is deadly. Elevation makes everything twice as hard. So when I went back to LA, I really started to feel the mileage. It was almost impossible for me to get a workout in, and I was struggling to run what I normally run. But luckily, I learned off these experiences. I took some time off and then regrouped stronger than before. If you're feeling bad like this, don't keep pushing yourself. If you get injured and have to take 2 months off because of it, it's gonna hurt you a lot more than taking 1 week off just to allow yourself to rest. Okay, so now let's talk about what my mileage goal for 2021 is. Number one, I want to be a lot more consistent. If I had run more in February, March, and August, I'd have run like a couple hundred more miles. So as long as I'm consistent, I really think that I can hit a much higher mileage base this year. And so now to the number. The number of miles that I want to hit in 2021 is a nice even 2,500. And 2,500 miles comes out to about 6.8 miles per day, which isn't that much harder than hitting 5.96s. I'll be making videos all about these miles and all of that stuff, so make sure to subscribe, make sure to like. I'll see you guys in the next video.